Hello, friends. Good morning. I'm joined by a ghost. Just kidding. It's here. Thank you. He brought my pancakes and nothing to eat them with. I will use my hands. You'll notice today that I'm joined for this productivity stream by an empty chair. This empty chair does not belong to Ev. No, Ev cannot join us this morning. Unfortunately, they hurt their back and they will not be here. So I have my backup guest. Second option, second choice. And it's Ryan. It's my husband. You've seen him on stream a couple of times. He shows up in the background. Sometimes he's just in my window. He's back. He's bringing me a fork. He just, in his hand, brought me a chunk of butter. Thank you. He brought me a fork separate from his hand.
Ingenuity.
Why didn't you carry the butter on the fork, sir?
Ingenuity.
That's what I thought. Hello.
A new way to hold butter.
Why did I pick it up with my hand? Hello, Ryan. Thank you for joining me on the stream today. I know it was late notice, but I appreciate you being here. You're a creative type, so it kind of makes sense for you to be here.
Kind of.
Now it makes sense. Why don't you, if you're prepared, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Separate from me, you're don't tell us that you're married to me. We know that. We get it. So who are you? Who are you?
Well,
no.
I was born in the year 1994. Back then we had igloos.
What?
I don't know.
Do you think there are no more eagles anymore? Sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry, I thought the bit was continuing. I didn't realize the bit was over.
You
Carry
want
on.
to continue?
No.
Well, I don't know. What's there to say? I'm just a guy. I'm just a boy. And I work. I'm a game programmer. I like those video games, so I make them. I program them. I have 2 jobs, a full-time job at Behavior Interactive and a part-time job at Code Symmetry, but I can't talk about any of those things. My opinions are my own. They don't reflect either of those companies.
That's so funny. I should start saying that. I'm supposed to say that whenever I do social media, that my opinions do not reflect those of Indigo. They are my own.
Yeah. I mean, I probably don't even have anything interesting to tell people anyways. They'd all be like, oh, what's going on with Dead by Daylight? And guys, I don't know.
Why don't you tell us some cool titles that you have worked on recently? Just so people understand. I just want to brag about you for a second.
What, you don't brag about me yourself?
I do. But I want every opportunity to do it.
Yeah, I mean, so I've worked on Halo Infinite. I've worked on Hogwarts Legacy. I worked on what else can I even say? Well, there was a Transformers project, but that's, I don't know, that got taken away from my company. So
cool. And you are an aspiring writer as well, a little bit.
A little bit. I have a story idea. I've written a chapter of a book.
Is that what you're going to work on this morning? Or are you going to work on your actual job?
I don't know. I have so many options. I could do so many different things.
Oh yeah, you didn't even tell us about your other thing.
What, my personal project?
Yeah, your personal project.
My personal project. Yeah, I mean, I'm working on my own game. We'll see how that goes. It's been a while, but yeah, that's a third-person Metroidvania game. Is
great, cool. Are you gonna work on that this morning?
I could. What do you think I should work on?
I think you should write because that would be fun, but I think you want to be actually productive. So I think you should work on your personal project or Cold Symmetry.
Get paid.
Yeah, like you get paid to be on my stream, basically.
One of us will be getting paid to be here.
was so rude. Damn. Actually, that's so true because I realized the last couple of streams I actually had monetization off.
Ooh.
Didn't mean to.
Ooh.
Doesn't really matter. Not that much. But it's on today, y'all. What was I gonna say as well? I'm sorry, I'm focused on melting the butter evenly over these pancakes.
It's very important.
Your other job is to bring me coffee. Oh.
Don't
Is
ever
there any
do
coffee?
that.
Is there coffee?
Yeah, you can make it yourself.
No, I'm hosting the stream.
I'll host while you get me coffee. Well, hold on.
Okay. I'm going to be working on Moldermouth this morning, my classic project. I've made a little bit of progress in it since the last stream, though. I've actually been writing, believe it or not.
I don't believe
I
it.
also decided to change the font that the project is in, and it looks so good. This is what I do instead of writing. I play with fonts.
It's in Comic Sans now.
Yeah, it's in Comic Sans, and it looks great. Also, you already know this, but I've changed. I was excited to tell Ev this, but Ev's not here. I changed it from a third person to first person, which is a more drastic change than changing the font, I'll admit. But I like it. I think it's working a lot better now, and I'm more excited. Hi, Jones. Hi, baby. I have a guest, and you don't.
I could get her.
No, that would be so mean.
Why? Why? What are you even talking about?
They don't need to know. The people don't need to know that all of our pets like Ryan better than they like me.
That's right.
And it breaks my heart. She breaks my heart.
She's such an angel.
She is. Her birthday was recently. She only came. Don't look at us. She only came here for the butter. So she's looking at the plate.
That's what you could provide them. Butter.
Butter.
The butter queen.
Don't call me the butter queen. Hey, last time she stepped on my keyboard, she ended the stream. So I'm not gonna let her up there. So I like to start sprints at nice round numbers, which means we can't start until 8:10. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm fine.
You're kind of a weirdo, actually.
It took me a long time to say. Also, why is it so dark in there?
I don't know, because it's overcast.
That's something that I realize is gonna actually matter, is because I sit outside, essentially. I'm in the sun deck, which we started these streams in the summer, so it's been very bright and nice, but the days are getting shorter, and even today I can tell it's getting darker. And if we're streaming in the winter, I will freeze to death. There's no insulation out here. Cover your mouth and you yawn, you heathen. And two, it's gonna be dark. It's gonna be pitch black.
Well, there is a light out there, and we have space heaters.
The space heater didn't work. I tried it last year when I was writing out here.
Huh.
Ooh. Would you recommend writing a horror/fantasy myth-like book in first person or third? I'm trying first person present tense. So what works personally for me is right now definitely first person. I think I was struggling to feel really connected with the character when I was writing in third person, and Moldermouth, my project, is also a sort of fantasy horror. So I felt very separate. I felt like I was writing things happening, and it was really hard to actually relay or convey how the character was feeling. So as soon as I switched into first person, it changed everything. It felt so much more natural. It just felt like better writing and a better story. So that's my opinion on it. Obviously, it's going to change per person because there are horror books and fantasy books in both third and first person, so it kind of depends on the writer. But me personally, first person is working right now.
Wouldn't you say it depends more on the story than the writer? Like the writer obviously has something to do with it, but like your story will tell you if it's working in first person or third person.
That too. I guess I'm saying right now, as for, I'm putting it on the writer right now because I'm still quite new to this. So I haven't really found my style, like my set thing. And so I'm still experimenting. I think more established writers probably will be able to know automatically, maybe this story should be first person or third person, past tense, present tense, etc. Right, me too. And I feel like first person, the horror aspect is better, more personal for me. That's true. Yeah, exactly. I think for horror specifically, I love a first person horror because you get, it feels more unreliable, in my opinion. Even if it's equally unreliable, first or third, it feels more unreliable, and I love that in a horror story. Ryan, continue.
I mean, I agree that horror stories, even in games, typically work better in first person than not. The less information you can give, the better. It makes it more spooky. So in games, if you're third person, you're obviously giving them a lot more information for the environment and stuff.
Yeah.
So first person is better in that way.
Yeah, I'm picturing like video games now. I can't even think of any third person horror games. And I feel like that would be less scary because you can see the whole character. I guess I'm thinking about Resident Evil 7, which is first person. But you're right, the other Resident Evils. But the other Resident Evils are like more actiony than horror.
The second one is pretty horror.
I don't remember.
They all have a lot of action. The Last of Us is not a scary game though. It's horror because there's zombies in it, but it's not a game that is meant to scare you.
Okay. I understand I'm wrong. Now there's just a list of games. But my point was, I think, I haven't played Silent Hill. And in my head, The Last of Us is not scary. I know that it is, but it is still quite actiony. I'm thinking of like true atmospheric horror games. In first person, it's so much scarier because in third person, your character's okay because you can see them. First person, you can't see them. Maybe you got no arms. And that's horror.
Yeah. When I am being creative, one of the things that I found in game development is that there's a lot of game developers that have an idea and they're like, I'm going to do this thing, or I'm going to be unique and I'm going to put a twist on it, or I'm going to XYZ, right? Like they're just doing things and they kind of can't get over their own ego and the game suffers for it. Where it's like, this game, you do have a good idea at its core, but the way that you're executing it is too much. You're adding like 6 extra steps to the process. You're overcomplicating this, you're overcomplicating that. Like this just isn't fun. So one of the things that me and Jacob are doing for our own personal game, like we don't have any sacred cows. Like if it's my idea or his idea and we try it in the game and we put an honest effort into trying it, but it just isn't good, we're like, yeah, cool. It doesn't belong in this game. We thought it would, but it's not actually good. It's not actually good for the product. And what we're trying to make is a good game, not our perfect game in our head, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it turns out there's some things that just didn't work in the environment that we were creating, and we're like, all right, this is worse for the game. Get over ourselves, change it.
Yeah, I commend you for that as well, because I know it can be tricky to cut. In writing, it's called kill your darlings, where like you've got these things, these elements that you are so attached to, and they don't work. Keep them in. I have that for Waypoint, which you've read, Ryan, and without giving too many details, because usually get published one day. Passage is my darling. She's got to get a cut. I know it.
Yeah.
But I love her. So Well, it's 8:15, which is kind of a round number. We should probably do a productivity sprint. We're just going to do 20 minutes because we're a little late on the first sprint. I have to remove this cat.
Yeah, let's get it done.
She
I'm
literally bit me.
gonna get some coffee and my own pancakes at the start of this one.
All right, so I'm going to mute both of us, and we will be back here at 8:35. Be right back, friends. 8:35. It's 8:35. Welcome back.
Hi.
Welcome. I hope everyone enjoyed watching me eat pancakes on stream for the last couple minutes there.
I enjoyed it.
I'm wearing enough blueberries in my teeth. Well, what did you get up to during productivity? Was it just making pancakes?
A lot of it was that, yeah. But
Nice.
I don't know, I booted up my personal project.
Cool.
Looked at it a little bit. Tried to remember what I was doing.
Look at it. Neato. I wrote. How much should I write? Let's see. I wrote literally 200 words. Exactly 200 words. I had to take a minute in the middle of it because I'm writing a banquet scene right now, and I just forgot every food that exists. I want to describe what they're eating, although it's not that important. I think it's a little important because the character that I'm writing from is very interested in what's being eaten, but it doesn't ultimately matter what is actually being eaten. But I just Googled Italian foods.
Nice. I like
and
that.
then wrote some descriptions of food.
Pasta. There.
Nope.
Pizza.
Yeah, they're having pizza and pasta.
Hey, I'm Italian, huh?
No, so I had to take a second there because I just blanked. I was like, I've never eaten food before. What do people eat?
Yeah, I don't know. I was struggling to remember what I was doing. So after I finished making pancakes, I'm just kind of sitting there being like, huh. I know I was in the middle of something, but I don't know what. Well, I know what, but I'm like, how far did I get? What is the state of this?
Does the project currently work?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what I know about programming. It works or it doesn't work?
It works. Same as before. Just trying to make a new thing. I'm trying to make it so that we can just have spawn points spawning enemies out in the world on their own, so they don't all have to be part of a combat encounter. So, you know, it's important to be able to just run into enemies out in the world and have fun.
I can't believe you have a better microphone than me, and you don't even scream or anything.
Oh, sorry. Did I use your money for this or something?
Wow. Spicy coin. You've talked about creating your own channel. You've talked about it a number of times to me. Where are the videos?
It just takes time, you know? It's actual work, as you are well aware.
I know.
And yeah, I don't know. I want to do it, but I want, like, if I'm going to be productive, I'm like, I really should either be working on my part-time job to make actual money and pay for things, or work on my personal project so that can actually progress.
Yeah.
And, you know, I can try and live my dream or whatever. Like, I don't know. There's people that just stream themselves coding, right? They just boot up a stream and they're just coding, and it's a productivity stream, right? Like, that's what you're doing here, obviously. But I can't do that with work for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Proprietary information.
So
unless the stream is just your face while you code, or you don't talk.
Yeah.
Would you do that? Would you show your code for your personal project?
I'd have to talk to Jacob about it, but I think I would.
I was really interested in the, oh gosh, I'm going to forget their name. The video you sent me that was about social media, but there was a tangent in it about open source code. the CJ the X video that you sent me. I thought that was really interesting about open source code, about how, like, on the surface, it seems like this great thing, and it is this great thing. But for the people that are hosting the code, it's now an unpaid business that they're running. Oh, we just lost your audio, right?
You lost my audio.
Yeah, you're back.
Interesting. Well, it isn't a job though, right? And that was kind of their point, I think, was that they kind of get all this pressure from the community to fix it and update it and accept requests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they feel all of this responsibility to do it. And like the point of his video was that you don't have a responsibility to do that.
Yeah.
Right? Like you've never promised to continuously update this open source code that you provided. It is a gift. You wrote it and you put it on the internet as a gift, and now it's in everybody else's hands, and it's not up to you or anybody to tell you to keep working on it and update it and make it work here and accept this person's change and all of that. So, but you feel obligated to.
Yeah, it was a new perspective that I'd never thought of, because obviously I don't work with code. So the concept of open source code is very basic to me, but I get it. But the concept that they brought, There's a question for you, Ryan. How long have you been working on the game? I'm actually planning one too, but I'm completely new about it. Kind of scary given everything else I am working on. I bet you can relate to that, Ryan, because you're working on so many things. So how long have you been working on your personal project?
My personal project, it's been like 4 years. You would think after 4 years, like if I don't know, maybe you wouldn't. It depends on the person, maybe. But like if I show the project and I say it's been 4 years, I bet people would be like, "What? You suck." Because, well, I don't know. I in my head I would have been further along. It's not like 4 years consistently either, though. Like I haven't actually touched it in maybe 6 months, if I'm just being honest.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I had to like actually put the time in, like if I was actually working part-time, like 15 hours a week on this project every week, probably like 2 years.
Yeah, I would say it's tricky for you because you are working full-time as a game developer as well, and you have to have your priorities. And since you're not working alone on your game, it's obviously tricky to like, and the person that you're working with, you haven't talked about Jacob much, but Jacob also works in the game industry. So like you're both working full-time all the time and then doing this for fun on the side, but it's hard to like coordinate it. So I'm really proud of you guys for sticking with it though. It's a great game, and I hope you guys do find the time to like really work on it more. But yeah, it's been 4 years.
Yeah, I mean I feel like we're finally at a good state with it, which is good, because a lot of it's just kind of been discovery and like figuring out what works and what we want and how the combat flow is going to be managed and everything like that. And we didn't do ourselves any favors by picking a third-person Metroidvania game inspired by Sekiro. So, we just added layers and layers and layers of complexity on top of that, right?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty proud of the work that I've done in it. I feel like it's certainly helped me get some jobs and stuff. And we've always had a very like, look, it'd be awesome if we could make this and sell it and start a studio and, make a living off of this. But it's also a space for us to learn and to grow and to create a portfolio. So it's kind of made it a little bit less pressure. Sorry, I'm reading this question.
Yeah, it's fine. I'll put it up on screen. Would you recommend a certain platform? They're using UE5, which is what you use. I don't know. I'm from it out. Okay, I'm not going to answer the question because I'm not the one that's being asked. But I'm like, whoa, UE5 for no experience. But
yeah,
right,
just for some more context, I have been working in the game industry for 10 years. And obviously I've worked at a number of different studios and on like AAA projects and stuff like that. Just for some more credentials, I guess. It depends on the type of game that you're making at the end of the day. If you're making like a mobile game, like a 2D mobile game, then Unity would regrettably be the choice for you. I'm not a big fan of Unity. It's not, and I don't have a reason why. I shouldn't say that I'm like not a big fan of it. I just much prefer Unreal Engine, and it's what I've been using for like the past 10 years. So I think that Unreal Engine is a bit more daunting, because if you go online and you ask people like what's a good engine to start with and whatnot, a lot of them say Unity, and they say that Unreal is like complicated and you need to know more stuff. And it's like, sort of, but you can do a whole lot more out of the gate. Blueprints are really powerful and a really easy, quick way to learn things. It's C++ and the whole engine is open source. So like if you need to learn how the pros are doing it in under the hood, you can just look at it, right? Unity just is not providing you the source code of their engine. And you can't change it. Like you have to go through a bunch of hoops and pay them money and whatnot if you want to actually change the Unity source code for your own game. But Unreal doesn't need that. They just give you the source of the engine. They're like, cool, here, do whatever you want with it. So, yeah, I don't know. They have decent, like if you ever get to the point where you're going to try and sell it, like Epic doesn't take any money from you until you make more than $1 million. I don't think Unity's is as good as that. It does depend on the game. Like if you told me more about the game and whatnot, then I could help you out better. But with zero experience, like, just so you know, making a game is like drastically different than playing a game. Like making it is a completely different mindset. It's a completely different set of tools that you have to learn and develop and grow and use. It's not the same. I very much enjoy programming and whatnot, but especially if you're by yourself, like it's really fun to have ideas and to think about it that way. Like that would be like a designer, for instance. Like you can design it. I don't want to discredit designers because that's a hard job too. But designers are the ones that come up with the ideas and think about it and whatnot. But they're not the ones that have to write the code and make the tools that actually make it function. So if you're by yourself, or if you want to learn these things, like I encourage it for sure. I think learning programming should be mandatory, at least the same way that learning some math is mandatory. It just teaches your brain a way of solving problems and coming up with a unique solution to problems, right? Because that's really what programming is hey, I have this problem, I need to figure out how it works, and you have to like really understand it under the hood and every single part of the problem and like the process with which it will take to accomplish it and whatnot.
I learned HTML and CSS. Does that count?
No.
Oh. Damn.
I might be a bit of a, what's the word? A C++. It's better than everything else. Kind of.
Now you emptied my brain. Master Race. C++ Master Race. Is that what you're going for?
Maybe.
Or just C++ Stan?
Yeah, maybe that.
I was going to ask you a question, Ryan, because it made me think of other stuff that you've done professionally. You go to, there are a couple different universities and colleges in our area that have you come and do like guest judge, guest teach, guest assess the students, the programming students. Do they work in Unity or UE5, or like do they get to choose?
They get to choose, but they all choose Unity.
They all choose Unity.
Yeah.
So they're in school at a university level learning how to make games, and they're choosing Unity.
They are. I mean, the teachers, part of the curriculum and whatnot was for the teachers to know Unity as well. So you'll end up with a lot more teachers that know Unity than Unreal and everything. My class actually was fortunate enough that the teacher we had taught us both, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna actually go through both of them and learn both of them. But it was a game programming program, which makes more sense. A lot of the students and the ones that I go to for the University of Toronto and whatnot to help them, it's not a game programming course. It's like a computer programming program, right? And they're just taking an elective. So it makes sense for them where it's just an elective to go into Unity or something, because it uses C# and things like that. So I would say that, like, the best way I can describe it is that Unity is easier to dip your toes in and to get something that kind of works and whatnot. But you'll hit a wall in terms of like quality pretty quickly. In some projects, you don't need the same level of quality that like Unreal could provide to you, for instance. And it's just harder. It becomes harder to do more complicated things and more custom things in Unity. In Unreal, it's a bit of a harder start. Like, you're climbing uphill a bit more. But once you get to the top, you're like, oh, I can instantly make something way better than what Unity could provide for me. Like, in order to reach the same quality level in Unity that you can get in Unreal, you have to spend like years modifying the engine and like working really hard. And it's like, that stuff is just what Unreal does. But depends on the game.
I think we should do another sprint. This is how it is with Ev too, where this is productivity sprints where we just talk, which is fine. Maybe I'm just interviewing you, but I do need to do some writing. I also just got an email that my broken binding package is due to be delivered any minute now, and I'm sitting at the front door, so there's gonna be a person standing beside me.
You're subscribed to Broken Binding?
You know this.
I know this? Okay.
I have a tier 2 subscription. So I'm getting those the Jade City books.
Ooh, it's that one. Okay, yeah, I did know
Yeah, you know this. You just don't listen to me when I talk. I also think that I broke my foot earlier when I stubbed my toe. It really hurts. Okay. We should... Oh, but now it's 8:52.
Do you think the Talking Hour podcast has a problem with us talking for an hour?
That is pretty funny. You know what is so interesting that I have discussed with Ev before? So when we're streaming at 8 a.m., I understand it's very early. We get like maximum like 7 concurrent viewers. But then the VOD of this, the playback, has so many views. Like, who are you? Who's coming later to rewatch this?
Get the heck out of these VODs. Who do you think you are? Watch us live.
I appreciate you, but what are you doing? Come here at 8 a.m. EST. This is why I can never have any other guests on this either. It's just you and Ev, because no one else is awake.
I guess so. I mean, it is 8 o'clock early.
For most people. I was telling my coworker what time we get up, and she was alarmed.
Well, how old is she?
26.
All right. I don't know. I feel like maybe once you get past a certain age, you start to wake up earlier and earlier.
I disagree. My mom sleeps until 11 a.m. Hi, Mom, who also is a person that watches the VOD and not live.
Well, there's an exception to every rule. Okay.
Okay, at 8:55, we're gonna get back to sprints.
For 5 minutes.
This is an hour-and-a-half podcast. It's not a podcast. What am I talking about?
It could be a podcast. Let's make.
We're going till 9:30.
Okay.
You know that, right?
Now I do.
You watch these every week.
Yeah.
Do you not? What time? Do you have a meeting at some point this morning?
Let me see.
Yeah, is your company going to see this and be like, wait a second, he's not working, he's on a stream?
I mean, I hope not. I hope they're not like, hey, if you're not in at 9 o'clock exactly, that's a huge problem. Like, I get my stuff done.
Well, here's the thing. We could end it at 9 if you would prefer.
It's fine.
What's fine? End at 9 or not?
Go to 9:30. What the heck?
Okay, well, I'm muting us because it's 8:55. We will be back at 9:20. come back now. 5 minutes early. Because I'm ending the stream at soonish. And there's a question.
It's not 5 minutes early. You said 9:20.
Yeah, I said 9:25, but no, I said 9:20. You're right.
Oh, I thought maybe you edited your comment.
No, I'm crazy, actually. Whoa.
But we all knew that.
I'll answer this question in a second, but how was your sprint, Ryan? What did you work on?
What did I do? I worked on Sylvanas, which is my code name for my own personal project.
Cool.
Yeah, I just still I'm looking at, again, spawning enemies into the world and cleaning that whole thing up, because that was written a couple years ago and times have changed.
Yes. I wrote about 500 words. So I've written about 700 words this session, and I think that's okay. It's not terrific.
It's pretty great, honestly.
I know, but my goal is 2K a day. I gotta do a
just
lot more.
Started.
I know, but my schedule today is crazy. I have to film and edit a full thing because we are going on vacation for a week. We're leaving tomorrow. So I still have to prep at least one more video for while we're away. Which I haven't done yet because yesterday's filming session took way too long. And I'm helping out at a different Indigo location tonight with their inventory. So I'm working until 4:30 in the morning. And then we're leaving for our trip tomorrow in the morning. So I'm not really going to sleep, I don't think. Point is, I don't know how much writing I'm going to get done today after this sprint session.
A lot, I bet.
Sure. But I will answer this question now. Have I published a book yet? No, I have not. I am aiming for traditional publishing. So I had a book that I was querying to agents last year, or 2 years ago, about 2 years ago, and it did quite well on querying, but ultimately was not picked up by anyone. So I haven't changed my dreams to self-published yet. It's definitely possible, and I think self-publishing is great. I just know that I personally don't have the willpower and dedication and whatnot to market my book myself. I don't know. And there's something in me that still yearns for traditional publishing, but we'll see how that goes. Am I reading your book? Yes, I haven't started yet. I'm downloading it on Kindle Unlimited, and that is our members pick. Forever and Always is our members pick right now, and I actually mentioned it in the next video that's coming out on Sunday. So you'll see. But I will also be including purchase links if anyone wants to read it along with me. And if you join as a member on my channel, you can force me to read any book of your choice at least once a month. And there we go. That's that. I was going to say something else and it just left my brain. I don't know. I still have this pancake. I only ate one of the pancakes and the other one got cold. Ryan's gone. He's not listening to me anymore.
So I was playing my game. It's kind of fun.
It better be.
Oh, it crashed.
So it doesn't work. Terrible game.
Well, it wasn't a real crash.
You know what else bookish news that I got today that's kind of cool that I don't know if you won't care about, Ryan. I don't think anyone watching will necessarily care about. But I got invited to a virtual event for Stacey McEwen. She's the author of Ledge, the Galatia series. I don't remember, something like that. It's a romanticy. What? Oh, Ledge. Third book in this trilogy is coming out, so I got an invite for the virtual event today, which is actually going to be while we're at the cottage, but I can join it because it's virtual. And I get free copies of the trilogy and merch, and I get to ask Stacey McEwen a bunch of questions. Stacey McEwen is hilarious. She was originally a TikTok celeb that got picked up by Angry Robot for her romanticy series. She does she's Australian, and she does if I was in a fantasy or a romance book, this is it, and she has her husband and stuff. I know I'm doing a great job of explaining who she is.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Great, cool. Well, anyways, I'm attending her event.
She like writes fantasy books about herself?
No. Her TikTok, her book talk. Hold on, let's put this on screen first. Yes, the marketing sucks for indie. That's why I don't want to do it. That's because I'm on the like marketing other indie authors' books side, where I help out a lot of other indie authors, and I see the struggle. I see the hustle, but I see the struggle, and I don't want to go through that. But I understand about the freedom or the lack of freedom in traditional publishing. When I interviewed our Verdi, we talked about that a lot, and a lot of it was cut out of the interview because that interview was hosted by Tor, a traditional publisher. So I had to cut a lot of the stuff out. But anyways, yes, Stacey McEwen was a book talker, or she is a book talker, and she's very funny. She's a comedian. She got very popular. And then people were telling her that she should write a book. So she wrote a book, and it got picked up by Angry Robot, and now it's a whole trilogy, and it's a romance one. But her book talk brand is like comedy things of how she would act if she was in a romance book. Ryan, I'm explaining this to you. Are you listening to me at all?
Yes.
No, he's not.
No, I listened. It's her TikToks.
No, don't explain it back to me. Don't do that.
All right.
Well, I think we're about at the end of the stream here. I appreciate everyone who came to watch. We always lose viewers when we go into the sprints, but we're here to be productive. So I thank everyone who came by. Talking our podcast, it was great to have you here. And yes, we are reading your book next month, or later this month, probably next month. And everyone who's watching from the future, hello, thanks for joining us. Before we go, Ryan, is there anything else you want to say?
Thanks for joining.
Great work. Ryan, are you going to be editing some shorts for me to put up on the channel? My Mr. Shorts editor?
Yeah, maybe.
Ryan is the creative director of my shorts. All right, bye everyone. I'm going to end the stream now. Love you all, and I will see you actually not next Friday because we're going to be at the cottage, but the Friday after that. We will be back at 8 in the morning. Wake up and be productive. Goodbye.